Welcome to the results of the Great Canadian Fire Census 2022. The Great Canadian Fire Census 2022 is arguably the largest and most up-to-date dataset about fire departments in our country. Over 629 fire departments helped to create this. Today, we'd like to take you on a numbers tour of the sector. Hop on. It's all about the numbers. The numbers you will see on this tour are based on calculations from a sample of 629 departments that are responsible for the fire services delivered to 25 million Canadians. It's not quite everyone, so we have done some calculations to go from the sample to national estimates for Canada. You can read more on our methods at www.cafc.ca. Now let's talk about how many firefighters we have. In 3,200 fire departments, we estimate a total of 126,000 firefighters of all types. Only 10% are women. About 32% are over the age of 50. In some parts of the country, legislation may prohibit firefighting over the age of 60 because of the extreme physical requirements of the job. To make things more interesting, there are already 15,000 vacancies that need to be filled. Of the total number of firefighters that we do have, 36,000 are full-time paid firefighters. We call these firefighters career firefighters. They work in career or composite departments. There are also 90,000 volunteer firefighters. They work in volunteer or composite departments. Volunteer firefighters are also very important in Canada. Consider that all fire department expenditures in 2022 were estimated at $5.6 billion. About 67% of fire department expenditures are made by the 1% of fire departments who operate on a full-time career basis. Only 15% of fire department expenditures are used by 85% of departments who operate on a fully volunteer basis. The rest is attributed to composite departments. Fire departments also employ another 8,600 individuals in paid full-time positions and have an additional 10,000 volunteers who are not firefighters. If you are interested in volunteering, check out our Answer the Call program at www.cafc.ca. Now that you know about the number of firefighters that we have, let's talk about the fire departments themselves. Fire departments, despite their names, are not just about the flames. In 2022, fire departments answered an estimated 2 million calls. Only about 10% of these were fire-related. 10% were because of extreme weather, and just over 50% were emergency medical. The remaining 30% was all-hazard response. The numbers in all call categories are increasing annually, but the medical portion is increasing at a much higher rate, creating a convergence of healthcare and emergency response crises. In fact, fire departments typically conduct between 6 to 16 different all-hazard services, depending on size. After structure fires, emergency medical and assisting emergency medical calls, industrial firefighting, fires on commercial properties, emergency management operations, and wildlands firefighting are among the top 5 most common services. However, there can be many other services such as vehicle extrication, search and rescue, high-angle rescue, trench rescue, community risk reduction, climate-related, and others. When bad things happen. With so many calls, sometimes bad things happen. People die or get hurt. This is why we all have to be responsible for safety. What can you do? Consider that in 2022, fire departments in an estimated 600 communities in our country had to respond to calls involving consumer fireworks. This is why in 2022, the fire chiefs asked that fireworks only be operated by professional firework companies. Similarly, in 2022, an estimated 140 communities in our country lost at least one community member to a fire in new residential construction that could have been sprinklered. Sprinklers don't replace fire departments, but they will give people time to evacuate. fire chiefs ask you to consider sprinklers in new residential construction. It's not just members of the public that die or get hurt in fires. This year, of 629 departments, 2 departments reported that firefighters died in the active line of duty. 57 had firefighters die due to illnesses associated with the profession, like cancer, and 7 departments had firefighters succumb to mental health injury. 229 fire departments reported at least 1 injury. You may be feeling a little bit sad right now, but remember, fire departments in Canada respond to 2 million calls, and most have a positive result due to fire department response. Let's talk now about how we can help fire departments. We talked about making sure that we recruit and retain volunteers, making choices that reduce risk, like installing sprinklers in new homes and leaving fireworks to professionals. Is there more we can do? Absolutely. About 41% of fire departments in this country deferred needed equipment and training for more than 2 years because of financial pressures. They need about 800 fire trucks, 600 new stations, communications technologies for 600 fire departments, and training resources for 775 departments. It's time to renew funding for the sector. This concludes our tour of the fire sector. We hope you found it interesting. We hope that where the story got difficult, you remember that Canada's fire services are filled with people, some of whom may be your own neighbors, that are here to help either as their chosen profession or on a volunteer basis. They do it because they love serving their community. They do it because they love Canada too. This video is brought to you by the Canadian Association of Fire Chiefs, Answer the Call and Data Committee, its National Advisory Council, Board, and staff. You can meet them on the CAFC website, where you can also find more information, www.cafc.ca.